It's not Adam Sandler. It's not Despacito 2. And SAS, where is my luggage? Indeed, here it is, the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai 2018. My name is Trey Saranthus, and we're back here in the ChinaJoy for another day of exhilarating Counter-Strike. Yesterday, we got to see the likes of Virtus Pro and Tyloo square off over 3 maps in what was surely a match to remember. Now, I can't do all this by myself, so perhaps I just go ahead and bring these guys right on in. My lieutenants, we've got Bled, and we've got Vendetta today. Boys, how was your sleep?
What sleep?
Yeah, I was about to say. No, I actually slept like a baby. I had a great time. Had an off day yesterday, so pretty much spent about 15 hours in bed. Not a bad way of going about it.
You still haven't got your bags yet, right?
What?
You still haven't got your luggage yet.
No, I guess I'm SAS. I have no idea where my luggage is.
I was asking where the luggage was.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing glasses. I don't have contact lenses anymore.
That's a yikes, dude.
That's a yikes, dude.
Anyway, we do have one best of 3 today. It's our semifinal, our second one at that, and it is sure to be a banger. We've got NRG versus Gambit, and right now it's kind of, how do I say this? It's kind of hard to determine who would be the better fit here.
Yeah, like in this particular lineup, these are 2 favorites in my opinion. Tyloo kind of, I wouldn't say surprises, but I was like, yeah, they might make it to the playoffs, but I don't see them really going all the way to semi, all the way to the finals at least. So yesterday was a pretty big surprise, but then again, it was a great game overall. But NRG and Gambit, I did favor them to be kind of the favorites. NRG were my main favorites in this tournament, right? But the Gambit, they had a slow start initially, but then they've just been able, they lost Dreamscape, if I'm not mistaken, Boot Dreamscape on Train. But ever since then, they looked very solid. They defeated HR, not that convincingly, but it looked pretty decent as well. They beat Greyhound, I do believe it was pretty convincingly too. So they're on an upswing. They're looking pretty solid right now. And of course, for NRG, though, this is, I'm going to say it, like we spoke about how Tyloo should be winning this tournament. I think that's the same thing that can be said for NRG. They need to like wash away that bad memory in London a couple of weeks back by trying to get a W here today.
You need to wash away the very spicy hot pot. That alone could separate the boys from the men. And we do have some boys here joining us men on the desk. That'll be our commentary duo known as Harriet and Snods. Guys, how are you doing over there?
We're doing fantastic. Thank you very much, Trace. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this one. Snods, how are you feeling?
Feeling good, obviously. Hopefully a 3-mapper. Yesterday's matchup was so close, really intense to watch, and just hoping it's a good one.
I just realized we're matching. We're all set up here. It's getting excited. Yeah, I know. This was organized. This was planned. NRG, of course, I think they're looking fantastic. But Gambit, if you recall, I mean, they kind of, it took them a while to close things out. You got a bit worried for them the other day when we watched them play. But ultimately, I think, this is either team's taking, really.
I think, for Blade coming in here, the first tournament with Gambit, he's going to have stuff prepared for this roster coming in versus NRG, hopefully more prepared than he was earlier today, nearly missing the bus. But apart from that, things are looking good for both teams. Should be down to the wire.
Yeah, we're going to give this one back to you guys over on the desk. The excitement is through the roof right now.
It's through the roof. Thank you very much, Sasquatch. Anyway, let's move forward with this matchup because, well, for all intents and purposes, we're one day away from a grand final and only NRG and Gambit remaining here in the semis. You know what? I think I've said enough. Let's hype this mother trucker up.
Welcome to the Acer Predator pre-show.
Well, I haven't seen Adam Sandler around here, but I have certainly seen the likes of Gambit and NRG. Both these teams had a day off yesterday to kind of collect themselves and say, hey, this is how we're going to formulate our game plan going into today. And, well, what do we think they came up with?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, for Gambit's purpose, they gradually gotten better and better as the tournament's gone along, but they've still shown weaknesses in their, in their best of 3 versus Boot. I don't think we saw as convincing of a performance as we would have liked to see out of them. I'm not sure if that's entirely due to Gambit underperforming, because obviously Boot did perform much better at a LAN event than we've ever seen up to this point. But I'm still not quite convinced that anything they would have been able to concoct really over the day that's passed is going to be enough to go up against NRG.
Yeah, true.
But are we giving NRG that sort of headway here?
Yeah, I would. Because if you look at Gambit, the biggest problem is going to be the map pool, right? Like, they don't really have a great map pool right now. Their train was looking really shaky. It was a map they used to be pretty good on earlier. So apart from Overpass and Cache, which they're very, very comfortable on, what are the maps that they have? Inferno, they can kind of play it, but everything else, the kind of thing, and even the maps they're good at on Overpass, they're not just pretty solid in that as well, right? So expanding a map pool in the span of a week with Blade coming in, I don't think there's enough time on that. So they're going to have to kind of work on what they know right now and trying to fix things, which they did throughout the course of this tournament, right? But NRG, they're coming as a full-fledged unit. They are, in my opinion, despite that hiccup at the minor, they're still overall the most well-rounded, the best unit we have here in this tournament right now.
Sure about that? Because I know one unit right off the top of my head, and he's on Gambit, and that's the X-God Doja.
Absolutely.
You know, he's slightly sweaty, but slightly,
yeah.
So, I mean, at that point, this Gambit roster, I think, is propelled to do good things today.
Could be.
I mean, I can't disagree with it. Again, they do have championship caliber players. I mean, one of the biggest upsides for me is that, you know, Edran pretty much, you know, gotten his juice loose in that sense. He's really firing on all cylinders, gotten gradually better. Had a really tough first best of one versus Boot, but ever since then, he's been their best performer by quite some margin. And he's always been the catalyst for this Gambit squad. Like, ever since the inception, even during their major run. Like, obviously, Hobbit and everyone has chipped in during all of these times, but he's been the consistent factor they can always rely on, and I think they need him if they want to have any shot.
Well, I think in some ways this lineup went through like a golden childhood sort of period, where yes, they sorted their successes at the major, they win the major, and then we saw changes and changes and changes.
And those ugly teenage years swung about after the sweet childhood.
I'm not even playing this game. but I agree with you, right? Like, they have had a change. I think this lineup in particular, I think it might click. And it will click. Question is it going to click today? Because I know it's going to click down the line, but I don't think they've had enough time to handle. Here's the thing. They beat your Greyhounds. They've beaten HR with a standard. Remember that, right? So they look pretty solid. But NRG are the team to beat in this tournament because I still believe that NRG should have this tournament in the bag. They should beat Gambit. They should also beat Tyloo tomorrow. But then again, Tyloo had a great showing, and Gambit, it's their battle to really overcome here. NRG's had to play the normal stuff, but then again, we saw Adrian like really stepping up his entire tournament, but everyone else was kind of comparatively quiet, right? Mo was kind of whiffing a number of shots today.
He wasn't surprisingly quiet.
Surprisingly quiet. Then Hobbit really hasn't shown much as well. Doshia as well. Everyone's been kind of comparatively quiet, and they all need to come alive here. It can't be Adrian alone trying to be the star player, because the victory against HR was a very ugly affair. It wasn't clean cut as I would like it, and NRG, I don't think they're going to be giving them much room to work with here.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the issues as well. Like, obviously, I think it's a positive direction to go in and bring in Blade in as a coach, but I think the entire style and look and approach he has to CS is going to take a lot longer time than just a week to really implement within a squad. Even though obviously there is a foundation in this Gambit squad, having played with Zeus in the past as well. But again, with how Blade usually likes to run things, I think you're going to have to look at Gambit in 2 to 3 months from now before you see the final results of this kind of not even roster swap, but coach swap in that sense.
Well, even on the NRG side, we could talk about coaching, right? They bring in I'm a Pet.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to bring this lineup up considerable amount. He receives a lot of praise in North America, and rightfully so. I believe he's a good fit for this squad, maybe even personality-wise.
Personality-wise as well, like I'm good, man. The thing is, when it comes to NRG as such, right, it comes down to their nerves, I kind of feel, right?
Yeah.
Like they have had very deep runs in big events as well, and they've had tournaments where they've done pretty well, but when it really matters the most, when when it's a matchup where they need to do something, they always kind of struggle. And Trace, stop shooting at us, man.
Do you have a license for those guns?
Do you have a license for this? I have one right here as well.
You win. Yeah, it's not bad.
See, this is unfair.
I don't know why we have these.
I'm the only one who doesn't have one.
You got to step out, man.
Relax. So we've got just about a minute, and I believe we're going to be going to a break, and then we're going to come back and do the veto process. We're going to get true and tuned here. But the one thing I am always hyped for here at the ChinaJoy is our stage host. This man
is the man.
Has the most energy I have ever seen. Thoughts?
He's got cans in his ear, like you can't really match it.
We
talked about it yesterday. We talked about it yesterday. OJ study the tapes. Like if you want to figure out how to do energy levels, DX Monster's like the way to go.
He is definitely.
I'm not surprised he hasn't got a sponsorship from DX Racer yet. He should by now.
Could happen.
He should.
Well, it's probably about. Sorry.
Probably
sometimes we can have a little fun up here. It's a little weird like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will be putting this down now, as I obviously can't.
Thank you.
Myself. Now, guys, I believe we can go to a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be jumping into the actual pregame stuff here. This was the Acer Predator pre-show. If you're just joining us, you're not too late to the party. You're just in time. And with that said, we're going to go to a quick break, so we'll be right back.
All eyes are on you. So give them greatness with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks and game like the pros. When you see the unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, you'll find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Game like a pro, because the world is watching.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Intel Extreme Marrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Intel Extreme Master Shanghai! 亲爱的现场以及荧幕前的各位观众朋友们，欢迎来到英特尔极限大师杯赛 IEM 13的半决赛的舞台。我是本次的主持人 DX 颠笑大师，再次欢迎各位的光临。 首先，我们要恭喜天路战队在昨天的比赛当中进行了3场。
Oh my goodness! I cannot believe how hyped that gets me every single time. Halvor, what do you think about that?
I mean, obviously, if you want someone to bring hype before semifinals, he's the right man to do so. Crowds in there, they got thunder sticks this time around.
They had that yesterday as well.
Yeah, that yesterday as well.
Yeah,
okay, that was
cool.
my day off, so excuse my.
Oh, what did you do with your day off?
Yeah, I had a day off. How's that?
What'd you do?
Yeah, no, he slept.
Yeah.
Slept, that's not bad. It's only 15 hours of sleep. And a long ride home if you're either of these teams. You do not want to go out in the semifinals. Again, we're on the eve of Gambit versus NRG. And, well, quite frankly, it is poised to be a banger. Both these teams vying for a spot to get their chance to grab the Intel Extreme Masters title here in Shanghai and take home that lovely trophy. I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, same here. That's the thing with IEMs, right? They're very legendary names, so to speak, in Counter-Strike especially, going back beyond 10 years. I think the first IEM was 2007 or something like that, 7, thereabouts. Yeah.
About right.
So obviously this is a great opportunity for teams like an NRG, like a Gambit, like a Tyler to finally get the win. So. Yes, I love this guy.
What do you think he's saying?
Yeah, how's their Chinese?
Ni hao. And Xixin.
So what was that one word? You taught me one the other day.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it, Trace. Why didn't you try?
I don't remember. I vaguely recall. I barely remember waking up today. So, with that in mind, a best of 3 here. Let's talk a little bit more serious. Let's try to rope it back in here. Let's try to do our jobs a little bit. When we talk about NRG and Gambit, are there any maps? Are there any win conditions for any team here? We're not talking about the vetoes specifically yet, but what are the win conditions on either side?
The win conditions is going to be, I'm not going to talk about the vetoes, but I'm going to talk about one map in particular. Overpass, whoever wins Overpass, if it does come into play, is going to be, in my opinion, taking the lead in the series, because both maps where... All right, sorry. I'm going to reel it in. I'm going to try to be a little bit more serious here.
We're trying to be serious here, Blake.
Really trying to be serious here, Trace. Thank you very much. I think Overpass is going to be the decider map here. That's a map which both the teams need to win. That's a map that both teams are very comfortable on. By the way, it's just wet all over the place over here, Trace.
Wet. But do you think actually Gambit are going to allow for Overpass to go?
Yeah,
I think that is by far the most successful map that NRG has in their play.
Yeah, but I think Gambit are going to pick it.
No, but like leaving it in just entirely. Because to me, that seems like a massive risk to actually take if you're Gambit.
What options do you have, right?
That's the problem, right? Like, you don't really have too many to talk about. Like, I think a lot of it is going to come down to individual performances from the side of Gambit. They need to, get their big old bowls going.
Yep, you got to get those big old balls out, and you got to get them scoring right now. We've got an interview on the stage with Adrin and Daps.
Yes. It's your first time come to China?
I've been to Hong Kong before, but I've never been to mainland China.
Yeah. And second question, in this year and last year, your team, like a beast, you destroy every stronger team. So how do you do that?
Lots of hard work.
掌声送给他。And this time, you face to PGL Major Champion Gambit. So, what did you prepare for this match?
Our coach put in a lot of work to prepare for this match. Our team's been kind of slumping lately, and we can't underestimate them because they have a lot of experience. And we need to play our best if we want to win.
Okay, good luck and have fun. Wait 1 minute. Wait 1 minute. Okay. 掌声再次送给 NRG. All right. 他叫什么？ 什么？大金牙对吗？哈哈哈 Agent, say hi to China.
你好，我爱你，你们。
Good. First question, can you sing a song to your Chinese fans? Sing a song.
So sorry?
Sing a song.
Oh. Okay, okay. Let us sit down. Backlash down.
Awesome. So, what did you prepare for this semi-final?
Our coach prepared, so we'll see what will happen. Can't say much.
All right. Good luck and have fun. All right, gentlemen, shake hand and again begin. 两支战队已经准备就绪了，究竟谁会在决赛的舞台上碰到天路战队？这个舞台。
And once an ancient proverb in China said, "Give them a finger, they'll take the fist." And with that, of course, this place is getting amped. You know, I really love the environment of this arena because it is literally standing room only out there.
Literally, and I was just walking around by there, and I think one of our producers won an anime pillow. One of the body
pillows.
Yeah, we're just running around, which is why we have these. I won these little pistols as well, which was a big mistake.
Big mistake.
Definitely created a bit of a moist atmosphere in the studio.
Not like it's not humid already outside, but yeah, it's getting a little worse. I do apologize, Alvor.
Well, we need to go. I was unfortunate to end up in the middle between the two.
You look like you've had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction today. Maybe there's a little slight precipitation coming down on both you guys.
Could be.
Not really sure where that all comes from, but I can say that you are the Goblin Boys. Now, let's talk a little bit about these teams. Let's try to hone it in and start talking about maps, boys.
Yeah. So I think we've kind of touched on it already. We don't really feel like Gambit has too much of a foot to stand on when it comes to map vetoes, and that's really the issue that's going to be, I think, pretty evident as we go through this best-of-3 series.
And I think for NRG, they're going to be going for a combat map pick, which I like to call it, right? Instead of going for the safe ones. So it's going to be, I believe, it's going to be a nuke ban from Gambit. They have to just play it safe over here. It's a map that NRG will definitely beat them on. Although we did see Gambit play nuke again, I think it was against Dreamscape, but still, it's not going to be good enough against NRG. NRG should ban Cash here. The second they take out Cash from the equation, okay, they've gone for Dust 2 ban, which is surprising, though.
No, see, this is the permaban from NRG, and I think that's a good choice as well because Gambit has been one of the teams. I mean, they've played it already in this tournament, so they're not shying away from it. Gambit, for the better part of it, I guess, have actually
Overpass and Train.
Played all 7 maps, so they don't necessarily. They're a bit more, I guess, wishy-washy, feel like floaty with how they go about their pick and ban phase.
This is kind of weird, though, right? I expected Overpass and Train, but I thought. Train is a pick from Gambit, I guess.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, and NRG picking Overpass. I did expect Overpass and Train, but not in this order, not with Gambit picking that.
Well, I guess Gambit, again, they're going with the map that they've played the most, even though they've had, you know, up and down success on it leading up to this point. They've gotten gradually better on the map, I guess you could say. That is one thing you can draw off of, but I do feel it's fairly optimistic to go into it. But again, they don't really have too much other options to pick from, and I think NRG going with Overpass makes perfect sense, even if it isn't their most played map. It is their second most played map. That is by far their most successful one. That duo of Fugly and Cirque over towards that A bomb side is an absolute nightmare for 99.9% teams to actually go up against. And if you turn your heads over towards that B bomb side, you have Ethan playing the best Counter-Strike of his life. So no real easy options to actually deal with if you're an opposing team, because you're going to have to use so much utility to even get close to, remotely close to any of the bomb sites.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with Train as well is the fact that the 2 times we saw Gambit play Train was against Boot. Twice. The first one, which they lost 16-12, that's the first, the best one, and then of course they lost they won in overtime rather against Dreamscape. My nipples are getting wet.
What? I don't think that one was on the list.
No context whatsoever.
What list are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I don't know what list you're talking about. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think it's going to be very hard here for Gambit. But Overpass, I believe, is going to be the map that has to be a must-win for both the teams. So whichever team takes Overpass, I believe, is going to take the series at the end here.
Do you actually give Gambit good enough a chance to take it to the third map?
That's the thing, right? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to go to Inferno.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning in the direction of this being a 2-0 for NRG. Again, even though we've seen slight progression from or slight progress from Gambit squad, at this point I think it's too early for us to expect them to beat NRG. I think the minor in London was a straight up fluke. Nothing really you should put too much stock into if you're NRG. So if you're a fan of that team, just there's no reason to doubt them really.
Well, they were definitely a favorite running into that, and so I guess some of the problems that they face there. Do you
Their own
think
demons?
I mean, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the thing. Completely agree. Like they have deep runs in tournaments where they have no business having deep runs in, and events where they're supposed to win or probably come out way on top, they kind of struggle, like we saw in the minor. And Chad, you really like sprinkling around, don't you? Giving people the golden shower and whatnot.
That's definitely still not on the list.
It's close.
We'll be adding that one to the list, right up there with the fistful of noodles. Now, with that said, boys, we've got the maps. We know the criteria. We know the win conditions.
Yep.
Let's talk about the real nitty-gritty here. How's this going to shape up?
I think it's all going to come down. I do believe the first map's going to be Train, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to Gambit CD side, where it was very stagnant when I saw them in this tournament, at least. Like we did, all they do is try to get pop dog control and just have a very static CD side, so to speak. It's very easy to read, and they weren't having any mid-half, changes, so to speak, adaptation to what the teams are throwing at them. And NRG, I mean, Chet would have done his homework, Amapet would have done his homework, and that's going to be a problem. How much have they worked on this map in order to kind of, throw a wrench into whatever NRG have planned in the T side?
So what I think is going to be this year, and I think this is actually an integral part, the fact that Amapet is renowned for walking through demos of whoever they play. They've already played Train a couple of times here if you're Gambit, so you have recent information to work with if you're NRG.
Yep.
And we saw like teams, obviously, like if you want to take an example from the VP series we had, you can see the slight adaptation versus Tyloo where they started multi-timing off pop. Whenever we saw the double setups happening there, I think any sort of like go-to move that Gambit has been spotted out by NRG, and that's going to be something that they have in mind. It's something they've planned for, and I don't see Gambit really being at that point where they can deal with it too well. I don't think they
don't have time, basically.
Yeah, I don't think the mid-game adjustments is going to be there. I mean, would love to see me being proved wrong by all means, but there is a chance, but I don't see that happening.
There is a chance. Guys, you have to put your money where your mouth is. Who do you got? 3, 2, go.
NRG.
Okay, got a lot of energy, and that does make complete sense. I mean, this is one of those things that kind of reminds me of that one film with the dog.
Hachi.
Old Yeller.
Ooh.
Homeward Bound.
Air Bud. The Amazing Journey.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the one. Either way, the teams have locked in. They have gotten set. Breeze sitting ever so close to his monitor in this lovely Sunday.
It's full focus.
I actually I caught up with Cirque a little while ago. He's ready. We're ready. And so are the casters. Harry and Snods are ready to bring you this action, this best of 3, a semi-final bout here at the Intel Extreme Masters 2018. Take it away, Sasquatch boys.
Thank you very much, Trace. That was utterly fantastic. And now we're going to be heading on through NRG versus Gambit in this semi-final. It's all on the line here. Both of these two teams are two teams that coming into this event, either one of them felt like they could have been one of the teams to take home the title. Now one of them leaves in this semis.
Exactly that, Harry. On paper, coming into this event, it was NRG, Gambit, Tyloo as well anticipated to make it to the grand final. And only 2 of those names out of that list of 3 will be there. It's already into the pistol round here. Some action towards the B site. Fugly gained some information as to the fact that Gambit are trying to take control towards the B position of the map. Bomb obviously left outside Pop, which means Gambit still can go for an attack and assault towards the A site down Pop Dog. However, seems as if they will be going for the option to slowly group up outside the B site. Fugly got the information, fell back, but Harry, he stayed true to himself, staying towards Heaven. Going to be spawning the players. They jump down towards the site. Has the backup as well of Daps. Let's see then. Can they try and hold the line towards the B site as the smokes come in?
Well, as you say, Daps and Fugly there, the first point of contact, and that smoke going to force Daps away. He tries to go running through, but he's going to have to give up his ground, and Fugly can't win his 1v1. As now Gambit have gone pushing up, but Breezy, despite being brought down low previously, has picked up the first frag onto a Dren. Now it falls to Mo, holding close. He's going to lose Hobbit. They start to push it up to try and help it, but they have to start to win some of these fights. They have to try and pull back this man advantage, and Mir, well, he is good for 1. Now leaves Mo high and dry, and Cirque going to go to find his third of the round. Doja left in a 1 versus 3. Pulls it back to the 1v2, but Ethan, from very far away, going to pick him off. NRG in with the defuse. Going to be finding themselves the pistol here on trade.
Brilliantly played retake there from NRG. into the first round of this series. Surprised to see them actually taking the victory there. For Gambit, they get the smoke down lower, they get the smoke towards the cross of the trains, towards the backlines. They're getting close towards Connector. But NRG, the players that land the headshots with the USPs, are victorious. Oh, the shot as well from Cirque, just coming down from the red train, obviously rotating in via Connector. And this is the issue here for Gambit. They were so close to Connector, but they allowed NRG just to go through towards the backlines and take those long-range duels. They didn't exactly hold on to Connector with those Glocks. But anyway, going to be round number 2 here, Harry. SMG investment coming in from NRG 4 at that as well, which is surprising to see. But then again, the bomb was planted. For NRG now, they're going to be anticipating Glocks, no Kevlar, no utility, and a very easy conversion round where they can start to stack and farm up that cash with the SMGs.
Yeah, chance to pull ahead early here for NRG over on the CT side. And I mean, even if you think back to the game we saw just the other day on this very map, it was a lot of it was all about the economy, right? That played into it. That's all about the CT side. Is if you can keep track of the money, if you can stay in the advantage in that regard, because you know it's very easy to snowball out of control on the T side, in spite of this being, you know, a CT-sided map. So the pressure's definitely on for NRG. Once again, Gambit going to go back to basics over here towards this B bomb site.
Yeah, main goal here is trying to waste utility from the side of NRG, and so far they've drawn out 2 Molotovs from NRG, so in total that's $1.5 or $1,200 already expended. Another one as well, so NRG are taking no risks into the second round. And with that, Gambit just buy their time, they wait. All the money being, you could argue, wasted here from NRG, but then again, they don't know if Gambit has gone for the force buy to try and see if they can catch them unsettled. But going to be the action here towards the B site, Harry, as the Glocks are already dinked down to low HP.
Yeah, that was the mother of all grenades. Now we have to see Fugly with this MP9 mop up the low HP players, and that's easy for him. Fugly's going to find everything up close. Not worth getting too excited about it, but NRG, they keep that round very, very clean at the very least. And as you pointed out, the main aim there for Gambit was to waste all that utility, and they did a fantastic job of drawing a lot of that out.
And now into the bread and butter of Counter-Strike. The buy rounds into the third. 5 AKs for Gambit, as obviously with the bomb being planted, but not being planted in the second round, there will be not enough cash to have Mo wield the AWP. But apart from that, 5 AKs is definitely going to be having them the advantage in terms of firepower. NRG are keeping hold of these SMGs, trying to get aggressive and into close quarters with those SMGs to have the advantage towards Ali. However, utility usage from Gambit early on, the Molotov, the flash will deter Breezy from pushing towards that angle. Ethan now has control towards Pop as well. So far for NRG, having the submachine guns carried over versus the Ecos have left them in very, very favorable positions for their weaponry.
Yeah, this is where this bonus round could greatly help shape a very, very strong TT tied half for NRG if they manage to win this round out. And that's fun. Not too much pressure coming in from Gambit. Now there's 55 seconds left, give or take, and they have a little bit left to work with in terms of utility. You can see that being thrown out now by Hobbit as a Dren and Mir lead the charge. Breezy's going to be holding close, and perfect flash of his teammates, able to find 2 with the UMP before a Dren swings in with the trade, and a Dren, as usual in this map, going to be firing on all cylinders here for Gambit. Fugly now left in a 1 versus 3. And this play is to be anything but. He's going to go walk in the way of Doja. That's the easiest kill he's ever found. So Gambit going to be very, very quickly finding a round for themselves there in the rifles. And you can see, in spite of that bonus round, Snods, there's not a lot of money left for NRG.
So unfortunate there that Ethan had the MP9, I believe it was, or a UMP in towards Pop Dog. As Gambit were just flooding out through T-Main. You had the off angle from Breezy that worked effectively with the SMG because he was close. But I mean, if Ethan has an M4 there, he could have easily got 1 or 2 frags at distance there from Pop Dog towards T-Main. Unfortunate scenes there, as the discrepancy between firepowers of both sides definitely was the difference maker in that round. As we head now into the fourth, going to be the Eco coming out from NRG. Just going to be the investment of utility, or should I say armor, by Breezy. the Desert Eagle as well, as Dren will find the first frag onto Cirque towards Ali. And that's going to be a big factor here. Obviously, NRG, or should I say Gambit, sorry, versus Boot. Only 2 days ago, Harry, if you remember, Gambit took control of Ivy every single buy round. Dozier was able to smoke it off, flash the angle, Molotov towards Green Train, and basically force back the AWPer from Boot. However, Cirque, obviously a different beast, a different ball game in that regard. Can he try get effect there and get some opening frags onto Dozier? Will he get aggressive? Well, speaking of aggression, the contact play now going to be concluding towards B.
Yeah, and Fugly has that Zeus, so there we go. You love to see it. I mean, Mo certainly does not, but they're able to get the trade at the very least. He's not able to grab the rifle and then wreak some havoc inside of that B-bomb site. And now you can see Breezy about to go toe-to-toe with Mir. He does have armor, so they would love to get away with an AK in this scenario, but it doesn't happen. Mir's mopping up a couple of exit frags here in CT spawn, and he does go down, but AK retrieved. You've got Hobbit right here now to trade this back. He's going to go, I was going to say through that smoke, instead bides his time. Dozier's on the other side. They should be able to mop up Daps in this scenario, so Gambit securing their second round. Equalize things out early on.
$5,300 in the bank balance for Cirque, so we can invest into the AWP if he wants to go for a glass cannon AWP, but obviously that will restrict his aggression. And here's the replay, Harry, of the Zeus up close. Obviously a very effective weapon on some parts of the map. Towards Pop Dog, the server boxer Ali, obviously down there towards ramp, can be gimmicky for that one frag. That can obviously snowball into something more in these ecos, but anyway, into the second buy round here, into round number 5. The Molotov in towards team main will allow for NRG to get some control there early on, but they're not going to be pushing on it just yet. Just the Molotov to deter Gambit away early. I spoke about the aggression towards Ali from Cirque, and here it is in full force.
Yeah, he's a real menace up close, but Mo's going to best him and actually finds himself a double.
Uncharacteristic there from Cirque to lose that duel, as the aggression still coming in towards the A site. Daps with the off angle onto a Dren and Hobbit. Does find 2, and now the favoritism is lent towards NRG. 2 versus 3, 1 minute 10 left on the clock, but thankfully for Gambit, the bomb is in the domain of the CIS team.
Yeah, now 2v3, wherever they go, it's 50-50 whether or not they're going to have that man advantage, although NRG have just started to peel players away over here towards the B-bomb site. That now leaves Daps alone. Inside a sandwich, he's going to be finding himself in a 1v2 if Gambit continue in this fashion. He's just got to buy time. You can see Fugly on the minimap right now. He can be the man to rotate. Daps does more than buy time. He's found the bomb and he's dropped it. Mo very isolated from this play. 35 seconds left, and well, now 1v3. It's a tall order to say the very least, an AWP in hand, and he's got to ace it if they want to pick up the round. Only 20 seconds left, so he's going to back away, look to try and hold on to the AWP. NRG stealing around back, and now for Gambit, the buy gets called into question a little bit here.
Does indeed. If you can take a look at the cash as well right now for Gambit, $4,000. Well, it's going to be $5,400 obviously once Hobbit has received the round loss bonus of $1,400. So we can actually drop the over, or sorry, the AWP over to Mo, but they've already got one, but they can run a double up setup if they wanted to. Definitely wouldn't recommend it here on Train this early on. The double op setup is something that you want to bring out if you know it's going to be effective. If you know that Gambit are over-peaking towards Ali, over-peaking towards team main, over-peaking towards B lower, for example. So obviously they haven't had enough analysis throughout the matchup, only 6 rounds in, unless Blade has done some preparation in that. But anyway, a tactical timeout called by Gambit to try and see if they can distinguish how much cash they really have here, whether it's best to go for the save, take this round of the chin, or go for the full-fledged force buy. As it seems, it will be the latter. AWP for Mo. 2 AK so far for Dozier and Hobbit. UMP going to be wielded by Mir. And here you have it. Ethan's frag there gets all of the attention from Gambit players, allows for Daps to peek in towards Blue Train and catch 2 players looking at Ethan. So, early on here, Fugly once again taking down Mir. This time aggressive on his lonesome towards the B side, taking some risks.
Yeah, Yeah, but he's rewarded for the man advantage gained here for NRG. And now they can afford to recede back into these bomb sites a little bit. Dren even going to get tagged up. I believe that was on the wall bang, and indeed it was. So he's been spammed through and tagged down to 9 HP. That is a devastating blow to have. Doesn't even see an enemy, no chance of doing the damage back in return. Especially onto a Dren, who, as we've seen time and time again here on Train, he's been the defining factor for Gambit. Now trying to challenge down in Ivy, it's Doja.
4 versus 5 then. 50 seconds left on the clock as Gambit slowly make their move towards Ali. The flashbang getting ready to be deployed, which should blind up the peak from Breezy. We saw this miss actually 2 days ago and Dozier died, but this time no flashbang. Gonna go in dry as Breezy will chuck at that Molotov with 35 seconds left. This will delay the push from Gambit, as we have Hobbit in towards Team A as well, so it is a two-pronged attack towards A.
Only issue is right now 4 players for NRG inside of this A bomb site, and even then Fugly can play a reasonably fast rotation as well. So 20 seconds, and as that time ticks on down, Gambit's options going to be made that much more limited. Breezy now getting their attention in the back line, forces on through, and Doja meant to be keeping an eye on that, but Mo's going to fall in the crossfire. Doja has to come up trumps on the entry. It all falls on a Hobbit. There's just no time. 4 seconds. This round's all said and done. And NRG are able to repel the offensive there from Gambit. And this is where economy management, the decisions that were made for Gambit in that previous round come back to punish them. Yeah, management is tricky business. No one knows that better than our talent manager, Declan. Shout out to him. Fantastic guy. But NRG leading the charge right now.
Leading indeed by 2 rounds currently, but that lead should extend to 3 when we take a glance at the money or the lack of buy from Gambit. Only going to be $2,000 across the board there, so full Glocks out. And once again, Fugly going to be jiggle peeking towards B lower. Waits to see if he can spot the feet. Chucks at the Molotov. The rotation's already here from Cirque. He can watch and peer towards heaven as they just drop out and fall one by one into their demise.
Ooh, they've actually found Fugly. The bomb might go down here, and that's fantastic. There's so many nades up on NRG, and that Molotov just going to roast Mir alive. So now Doja, 1v4 and a P250 in hand. Going on in the back line. The issue is with so much time left, they're going to be prepared for this, and Daps holding the angle. Not usually a high fragging guy within the server, but that's a shot he's going to hit all day long. So NRG, a 5th round of their name, and now the buy is able to come back in for Gambit.
The issue so far for Gambit, it feels like they're not forcing out the utility early enough from NRG. Towards Ali, Breezy has a Molotov with 30 seconds left. That instantly removes 6 seconds off the clock. The smokes as well have been used at that minute 10 minute mark, which are starting to fade at about 50 seconds, 45 seconds, which really does amplify the clock and basically force your hand into an awkward scenario, as we saw from Gambit, walking through choke points with 30, 25 seconds left. They need to get aggressive early, force out the utility, force out the Molotovs, and get their mid-round call perfect.
But you know what's scary right now for me with Gambit? They're on their 3rd tactical pause so far, and we're 8 rounds into the game. That is...
I believe one of them was a technical issue.
Okay, but still,
so it's two
pauses regardless, 8 rounds in. I'm a big fan of getting those pauses in earlier on. But you do run the risk of running out. I think for Gambit, you know, they're still having a couple of problems here. This is going to be, you know, one where I think they're going to need to see a big difference. They need to see some of these pauses start to really show in how they're playing these rounds. And not only that, they're running the risk of money starting to be a problem once again.
Aggression once more from Fugly towards the B-bomb site. This time a few rounds ago, Mir was taken out of the equation by that aggression. However, now more of a standstill. Flash is being used towards Ali. Doja trying to see if he can force out the Molotov or the extra smoke as well towards Ivy. As it seems like Mir just going to be throwing that one flash bang towards B and then going to be falling back. However, Daps anticipating the play towards A, finds the first onto a Trent, gets the tag onto Mo as well, and already is pretty much a 5 versus a 3.5 against Gambit.
Yeah, 3.5 indeed. Oh, Mo and Doja both fall as well. Fugly on the trap. Brown has to come up trumps, and he's going to go and find one. Hobbit now left in a 1v4. All the damage in the world done to Gambit. And Hobbit, 56 HP. So much to do. The bomb dropped over here towards main. NRG going to be keeping an eye on that all day long, and it's Daps holding close with that AWP, honing in his sights, and Hobbit about to go walking into it. Will be him falling. So Daps locking in that 6th round there for NRG. And this is a scary lead to have so early on the, you know, if you are Gambit, your opponent's being 6-2 up on your map pick. It's a pretty gut-wrenching scenario to be in right now, but there is still time. It's early days, round 9 coming up.
One of the big plays we saw from Gambit versus Boot was that lurk towards the outside of the map, towards Blue Train, towards Sandwich from Adren. The issue is here, it feels like NRG are AWPing to counter it. Daps AWPing towards Green Train has been a thorn in their side. As on the eco once more, Gambit up close versus Breezy. Unfortunately unable to capitalize off of the distance as he's managed to make his way back now. Oh, and the duels should be favored to him. As the frag still go in favor of the North Americans. 4-2. As it's just Mir and Mo. One deagle between them. No armor as well to back up their weaponry as they fall one by one, like dominoes, to the AWP of Daps, who has been having a good game here early on. AWPing towards Green Train, as I said, peering in towards Sandwich and towards the right side of Blue Train. That's been a big issue here for Gambit. Before, they were relying on the lurk from Adren, the solo play to push in and try to get the entry kill towards the A site and then calm down Popdog and then exploit Ali once the CT's attention was diverted. So now things get rather hairy here for Gambit. Obviously, as you said, they've used 2 pauses. And when's the 3rd going to be called? As right now they're in the 5-round deficit. But round number 10 here. 4-buy going to be coming into full fruition for the CIS squad of Gambit. We've spoke about trying to draw out early utility towards Ali and towards the B site to hopefully give them an edge once they finally do push forward. They can't be running through choke points towards Ali, towards B with 25, 30 seconds left. It simply isn't going to work versus a team with the experience now as NRG. So, what's the difference going to be?
Well, right now, going to be no presence down towards Ivy. That's something evident early on. Instead, splitting their attention between Popdog and Main. Mo going to be setting up a molly for the Mo's position to help his teammates get on out. That nullifies the man down towards E-Box. Daps is still on the opener. Ethan, while he's been Molotov'd out, Daps and Breezy pull it back. Cirque now emerging from his hidey hole down a connector, and Hobbit, that's a massive whiff from him. That could have been the man advantage equalized back out. He does have Mo to support. Hobbit's managed one, and now it's Breezy. In a 1v2, backing away with the M4. Going to try and come at this from a different angle. Spots out Mo, tags him up. Not enough to find the kill, and now they know where Breezy resides. Hobbit working his way down towards Old Hell. Going to try and keep an eye on Breezy. Here's the footsteps. Here's him up on the buffers, and Breezy wants to try and put a stop to this, so he ups on down, but it's Mo to find 3 kills. Gambit going to be moving on to their 3rd round.
All it took there from Gambit was simply clearing out Ethan towards Popdog and then having that 2-way split towards the A site. Through Popdog, through Chi Main, obviously the Molotov execution as well, molling out towards Sandwich, molling out towards Electric to deny Breezy his so far favoured position. So will Gambit fall back on that same strategy to utilise the Molotovs to flush out the CT players and catch them as they're in the flames? As it seems like NRG, trying to go for a high-octane style of CS there. The Molotov once again from Gambit going to be deterring the aggression towards Ali from Breezy. Popdog control not in the hands of Ethan, instead it's Adren to capitalise off of the misfortune. 5 versus 4, Gambit seem to have found their weakness. Popdog control no longer being given away and forfeited to Ethan. As now things get a lot harder for NRG. Already down a man with only 50 seconds played out. And with Fogley alone towards the B site, a very good call here from Gambit could be to group execute towards Bravo.
Fogley backing away from B. You can see that he's going to look to try and reinforce the same bomb site with the rest of the gang, and sadly, that's going to leave this B bomb site fully open to everyone on Gambit. Daps now starts to hear some of these footsteps coming in. The call's been made, but these rotations going to come in very, very late, all things considered. And there's Doja keeping an eye on the push-up from Pop Dog. NRG just going to have to concede this round. They stack everyone over in A. They play for the retake, but as the bomb goes down, they know they're locked out of this round, and it's better just to save these 4 rifles.
Even though NRG obviously lost the round, I'm actually a big fan of that call from Daps. You're down 1 player. You've lost Ethan early on as he got Molotov'd out of Pop Dog. Obviously, Dren peeking from team main to capitalize off of that. But you're down 1 player, 5 versus 4. Fugly alone towards that B side. What can he really do with the lack of utility? He'd already used his Molotov. I think he had a smoke and a flashbang, but apart from that, that isn't quite enough to deter Gambit towards that B side. Instead, they roll the dice, they take the gamble, they stack towards the A site, and what's the worst scenario here? They lose the round, but with all of their weaponry saved, they've already got, or at the time, a 4-round buffer, so they can take those risks as they have the lead to play with. And now they still have cash in the bank to go for a 4-buy with the 3-round advantage still in their name. Nice little Lord of the Ring reference there from our stat man, David. So, 7-4 on the 12th round. Fugly this time once again. Not going to be going for the jiggle peek here, just listening to see what he can hear as the flashbang comes through by Gambit. Oh, this is a good read here. Oh! A Dren while blind. My goodness, the muscle memory is definitely still there.
Oh, and Cirque, that was his opportunity to trade it back, but he's going to miss it on the cross. And while now Gambit turning their heads back towards this B-bomb site. It's tried, it's tested. They have yet to be bested. Daps and Fugly lie in wait. Well, Hobbit, there we go. The opener found, and now Fugly spots the barrel. Here's the player up above him, but gets caught between a Dren and Mir, and that's now just Cirque and Breezy left alive. Now Breezy's managed 1. That's going to make this a little bit tempting in this sort of scenario. Cirque starts to rotate round, and it's this flank from Doja that could either be the thing that shuts this round down for NRG, but it could also be their way in. These guys inside of the bomb site now need to hold their ground. They have to buy time for this flank from Doja to be effective. He's not pushing, he's waiting to see if they save, and now they get the call that they are going for it. Mo's gonna fall. Doja has to get a move on here, has to pick up the pace in the back line. A Dren up in the heavens, smokes down on the bomb, and a Dren peeks into it, able to find the kill. Cirque with the trade, and now on the bomb, Doja running in fast as his feet will carry him, but if timing gets the better of him here, it's not gonna happen. In NRG, they get the defuse, while Doja does manage the kill. He does forego the round.
You can see the relief there on Cirque's face. Missing that first shot, allowing for a Dren to deny the defuse. But Cirque, realizing that Doja had to be from behind, sticks the plant, bomb not planted for it, and does grant NRG with the full economic reset versus Gambit, and as well as that, the 8th round. So, in terms of cash, there's not much left after this one. Ooh. NRG, if they win this, Gambit should be on to an eco, but so far it's looking like the reverse. 5 versus 4, as Daps as well getting tagged towards outside. And now for Gambit, all to play for. Fugly with the aggressive angle here towards Heaven allows for Daps to now rotate towards the A site. Still has the AWP in hand. With the forward position, they're going to be keeping 3 players towards the A side. This is pivotal here from NRG. That's a blunder.
Yeah, Fugly gives it up down towards the B-bomb site. They lose Cirque in the meantime, and now the pressure's well and truly on. NRG rotating around, but players already inside of the site. Daps doesn't catch anything over the top of the smoke, and Hobbit's already worked his way close this round, and it's falling apart for NRG, and there's Mo. The final nail in the coffin, 5th round for Gambit secured. And, you know, when you think about the fact that there was a time where this was 7-2 down, Gambit looked flustered, NRG seemed to have their name, their number, their address, everything. But
their wallet as well.
Yeah, their wallet. All of their possessions. But now, Gambit finding a resurgence. They've reset the economy of NRG, and NRG, they've gone for the force buy in this round. They're If they lose this at best, another kind of cobbled together buy in the next. They've got aggressive over here towards B, and Hobbit and Mir clicking on heads make things look easy. They've opened up the B bomb site once more. That bomb's going to go down any second now, and NRG are already looking to save.
As you said, has to be the save here from NRG. They've gone for the force buy against Gambit. And the aggression towards B upper from Fugly and Dabs, once again, not working. It feels like Fugly is trying to find information to give NRG the right stack. They're probably paranoid of what happened a few rounds before, where Gambit obviously grouped outside B. They had no idea. NRG stacked towards the A site, and it allowed Gambit just to walk into a vacant B bomb site. NRG paranoid about that same play and that same strategy being called, as now they're the ones getting aggressive for the information, but so far, Gambit are the ones holding for it. It worked out so well when NRG were playing passive, allowing Gambit to work down the time, saving their utility for that 45, 50-second mark to really throw a spanner in the works against the default of Gambit. But now things are starting to heat up. Final rounds of this first half of the second semi-final. Obviously the winner going on to play Tai Lu in the grand finals tomorrow. On the desk it was NRG as the heavy favourites. Oh, here's the replay. We saw from Hobbit's pop, but here's the spray transfer, you could say, from Mir. And with that, the final buy here from the CT side of NRG. Scout for Ethan, UMP for Breezy, M4 still saved by Cirque, but apart from that, CZs.
Yeah, we need to start seeing Ethan Bradbury, the enemy here. Mir holding outside of the B-bomb site, going to start to back away. Fugly and Daps are there. So he's going to bite his tongue. Wait. Fugly. Not going to aggress any further forward. Instead, it's Ethan. Oh, actually, just as you say it. Ooh. Start to aggress, and Mir's missed the timing. This is a lot of information gained. Fugly, very fortunate in this position.
The question is, though, does Hobbit anticipate the push already towards the B upper halls, as they're going to be dropping in from behind it? But Adren gets the first frag onto Ethan. NRG have to play passive now, Harry. The flanks coming in from behind. They're the insurance policy. And here comes the cavalry as Daps finds one, turns this into the 4 versus 4. Mo has no idea what's behind him.
He does not. The man lurking in the shadows is Fugly, and while Mo is going to fall earlier on, that's an AWP that's been retrieved now. Doja and Mir left alive. Fugly puts down Doja. Mir, the latest addition to this Gambit roster. We saw him struggle in the group stages, but now he's showing up. Bomb goes down. They anticipate that it's B. They've read this all wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Cirque's gone rotating over towards the B-bomb site. Fugly's joined him, and this is going to cost them so much time.
Mir as well, close in towards Popdog, going to be having the rotation, but also the after-plant position. NRG have just ran through Popdog. There's no way in hell that they're going to be anticipating Mir to be lurking here, as the bomb does get tapped.
Mir in with the peek, they tap onto it, and he's sneaking on in. Fugly spots him. Mir misses the spray, and NRG, in spite of the blunder to head towards the A bomb site, they still find the round. It's 9-6 in favor of NRG heading into this second half. Early on, let's not forget, there was a time where they were, what, 7-2 up. So a good recovery from Gambit, moving into the CT side of their map pick. It's still all to play for. We'll be throwing this over to a break, and then we'll be back with the second half. Well, we're into the second half. The energy in here is fantastic, and so are the NRG in the server. Currently up 9-6 here on Train. Moving into the second half, they boast a 3-round lead over Gambit. And while Gambit for the pistol round here could mean a way back into this in a big way, but only time will tell. Let's not forget the winner of this, for those of you who are just joining us, goes on to play Tai Lu in the grand finals tomorrow. Already Breezy charging on in towards outside. NRG going to try and keep things fast. And oh my goodness, they certainly do. Mo and Hobbit left alive. And they're ducking in over here towards B.
Well, 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 with the entry frags in towards Connector, NRG going to be taking that part of the map as their own real estate. Bomb planted for the back lines as well as Hobbit. Up close, does find one. Nearly lines up the second as well onto Cirque. However, doesn't quite manage it. And with that 1-for-1 towards CT, it now leaves us into the 1 versus 4 of Mo. No defuse kit, no utility, just the USP and Kevlar at hand. As it seems NRG are just seconds away now from going to a double-digit scoreline. One frag at least from Mo will retrieve the smoke and gain some extra cash as well from the kill. There might be the defuse kit from Hobbit towards CT. That might be what he's going to collect. And indeed it is. So defuse kit saved, smoke saved. That's what, $700 worth of cash that he has now given himself. NRG able to win both pistols here, Harry. And as we know, winning both pistols in these matchups is a massive, you could say, key to victory, to actually take the map as a whole, as it gives you those conversion rounds, essentially a 5 to 6 round buffer before you even factor in the buy rounds. But speaking of buys, Gambit are going to be going for the force buy, Mo wielding the scout, but apart from that, pistols across the board. 3 CZs, 1 P250 onto Dozier, and 2 smokes to work with.
Yeah, it's looking very, very limited, and for Gambit as well, I mean, we've seen them in their game versus Boot, if you recall, in situations if they did lose the pistol, they were quite keen usually on not investing too much, especially on a map like Train, where utility is so important. They've gone for a very heavy investment here, so even when they get the buy heading into round 19, they're not going to have all the bells and whistles that we would usually associate with a strong buy. So they're relying now on these pistols, that scout on Mo doing a decent bout of damage. We're going to need to see exactly that. Now Hobbit lies in wait down here. Now Ivy throws that smoke, so they know that someone sat in the corner.
So much time has been delayed now, though, from Gambit. The smoke towards B, the smoke towards Ali. 45 seconds left here, and NRG have no control towards Pop Dog, nothing towards Ali, nothing towards Team Main. They're being funneled into the B bomb site, exactly where Gambit want them. Dozier once again playing towards the default site. Mo with the scout up close, lands the tag, but still standing in front of the Firefire.
Now it all falls to Dozier, and he gets beheaded straight away. Ethan making the entries look easy right now. NRG looking like they'll be moving on to an 11th round. Just the CZs and armor across the Dren, Hobbit and Mir. Bugley has been spotted, but he's still able to find the kill. Now he can back away, and for Hobbit and Mir, really want to try and think about saving at this point in time. Hobbit sticking around a little bit longer in the hope that he can find a rifle, an SMG perhaps. It's not going to happen. Daps, while he is going hunting, he's all the way over here towards Main. He's going to be very, very close to Mir, but Mir just wants to remain undetected at this point in time. So 11-6 as the save call comes in. The next round just going to have to be one that Gambit take on the chin, in all honesty. It's likely that we see, unless something goes horrifically wrong, NRG go 12-6 before that buy comes in from Gambit.
Precisely that. NRG able to take the pistol, win versus the force buy as well. Means they are now met by the eco. For Gambit as well, you can see the frustration starting to mount on the players themselves, but also the urgency of these rounds. The fact that all 5 players have force bought in that last one goes to show that even Mo is feeling the pressure. Typically, it'll be the AWPer saving, leaving $3,000, saving for the AWPer to the buy round, especially on CT side Train as well. But Gambit feel like they need rounds as soon as possible. They've gone for Nico here. Just careful on 2 players, but already the man advantage thanks to the CZ from Hobbit. 5 versus 4, but look at the health here from some of the Gambit players. Hobbit down to 4, Mir at 50, Adren at 66 as well, and already it's all falling in favour of NRG.
Yeah, just Mo and Hobbit left, and you know, with only these pistols, they're not expecting too much. Now Hobbit eyeing up this kill he got earlier on, but it's only a Mach 10, so nothing really to write home about. You can see the look of disdain on his face about this pickup. 4 HP, the bomb gonna go down, NRG 12 to 6. Let's not forget, this is the map pick of Gambit. Right now, you might not think that, but they're gonna have their buy in the next round at least. We get to really see their metal get tested. The scary thing about being on the CT side, losing the pistol, moving into that first rifle buy, is that, you know, you're gonna be reset if you lose that first buy round, and at which point NRG gonna be looking deadly.
Gets worse than that as well. The fact that it was the full 5-man force buy means that Gambit won't have the Molotovs, the plethora of utility to delay NRG, because they're going to be having, what, 1 SMG, 4 AKs potentially. I mean, if Cirque wants to wield the open the first buy round, he can obviously afford that. The issue is, though, NRG can play a fast round now, though. That's the issue. They can burst out through alley from a smoke. They can rush towards teammate, go down pop dog fast, do something aggressive early on, and what has Gambit got to deter them? No Molotovs unless someone takes a hit in terms of firepower, maybe buys a UMP to buy utility, or goes for a FAMAS buy. It's the only way they can really afford the weaponry here and the utility required to deter NRG, as they have gone for the final pause. 4 have now been used, and with the final seconds of it still counting down, what can Blade do to give his input? As we do go live into the round. Hobbit still has the Mach 10 in his hand. Does he use the Mach 10? He's gone for the investment into utility. I think this is the call here, Harry. I said someone has to take the hit in terms of firepower. It seems like it will be the Mach 10 from Hobbit. He has the Molotov smoke to work with, but apart from that, there's 2 additional smokes, 1 Molotov onto Hobbit, and that's all they have to their name. How is NRG going to exploit this? And as I thought, they're getting aggressive early. The Mach 10 charging and barreling in towards Green Train.
Daps taking the fight. Now Mim and Mo doing all they can. We're into a 3-on-3. Mir, quick pivot round, and that's a massive kill to find. He drops Breezy, makes it look easy. Cirque's there, but he's gonna fall, and now it's Fugly who's worked his way into a position here over in Connector. The bomb dropped down by Olaf, and Fugly with a lengthy journey ahead of him here. Doja catches him unaware. And Gambit, they dig deep, they find themselves success in the first rifle round.
And a must win from them at that. 12 to 7 as we head into the 20th round here. And in terms of cash as well, only Dozier on $3,000. Apart from that, no one has enough money to afford a buy into the 21st round if NRG win this one and reset the cash to Gambit. For my money, Harry, if NRG win this round, I think it's GG. I think this is Train going in the hands of NRG.
Calling it early.
I am, yeah.
I like that.
Let me have a guess. You're still rooting for Gambit, the underdog?
You know me. I'm a big Gambit fan. Plus the fact that NRG spell esports with a capital S. That's disgusting. But there's always a chance. And, you know, Gambit might have missed the bus this morning. I like to think that they're not going to miss the train here. So 5 rounds between them and NRG.
So far this event, you've missed your flight and the bus.
Yeah. That's true, you know, but you know what I have not missed?
Go for it.
Any of this action right here on screen. I don't know, I was trying to come up with a joke.
That was awful.
I couldn't do it.
You didn't save it.
You threw me under the bus that I missed.
Hey.
But here we go. Oh. Hobbit lies in wait. Down towards Ivy and NRG. Trying to set up for control here early on. They're going to start to back away now. Move back into this default, perhaps. You can see that they have all the smokes, all the flashes they need to go for an execute with that many Molotovs. You can throw one into sandwich. You can force away a player like Mir, who's gone aggressive right now. Biggest issue for NRG is that fresh smoke just going down over in main. That's going to cost Precious time.
Time indeed, and there isn't much left of it. 20 seconds left on the clock as the push now coming through for NRG. 1 for 1 in terms of kills early on, but Mir able to find another one as well for Gambit. Actually doubles up for the second as they're still running into his crosshair 1 by 1, but Ethan there to back up his teammate. 8 seconds left, and the bomb still has to make it to the site. There's no time left, potentially. Oh, the bomb did get planted, but Adren, quick on the flank, able to get the final kill onto Cirque. Obviously, there's more than plenty time to go for the defuse, and Gambit still get to 8. Obviously, as I said before, if NRG had won that one, for my money, it would have been a GG early call there. But round number 21 here. NRG still have the cash to go for the buy here. Obviously, 5.7k for Breezy, and they're actually going to be taking the tactical timeout here to work out the best way to distribute the funds they have remaining. Dabs can drop over an AWP to Cirque and still be able to afford Kevlar. Breezy can invest into full utility, so they can go for a sort of set play execution if they wanted to. They have decent money. Fugly most likely going to be down to a UMP, so he can go towards drop down, take B upper control. But let's see what their call is going to be, and to really go to show which team is under the most pressure here. That's the first tactical timeout by NRG, 21 rounds in. Gambit used all 4 by 19.
It's an interesting stat about Daps up on your screen. I kind of mentioned earlier, not only the guy that we associate with a high-fragging, high-flying IGL, but I tell you what, at a lot of the events that NRG seem to do well, and he does seem to be posting numbers. He seems to be someone who's a pretty consistent pillar within this team, both from, you know, taking charge, but also taking charge of that scoreboard. He is the Daps daddy. And, well, fast play from Ethan out from Main, going to flash himself out into the open. He falls early, so they lose their danger man, their point man who was leading the charge out towards that A-bomb site. And now the push comes in. Doja, the man with the big D at the front of his name, going to try and hold down this bomb site. And there we go, does manage one, but it's the flank round from Daps. Up from the heavens to find him. Cirque now chiming in with another, and that's a tricky call for Mo. He wanted to try and get the trade, but it's not an angle you want to go dry peeking into. Down their smoke, 3v3. Keep your eye on Cirque as well, because he has that Molotov. That's going to be worth its weight in gold in the afterplan.
Exactly that, especially with Gambit lacking the smoke as well to counter the molly. And still, 25 seconds or 20 seconds left in the bomb here. Gambit have to get a move on. They have the defuse kits, they just have no utility.
There's Daps chiming in early. He's able to trade, but time ticked down so low. Fugly up in the heavens. That Molotov still on Cirque. There should be no way back into this round. And Mo in the 1v2. Time's ticked down too low. He's desperately trying to hold on to the AWP, and it's just not happening. NRG going to reach a 13th round. And in spite of winning 2 in a row over on the side of Gambit, in spite of keeping, you know, 5 out of 10 players alive across both of those rounds, that money going to start to become an issue once again.
Poor communication from Gambit towards that B-bomb site. Adren, Mo, both towards connector, but nobody holding Doja's heaven. Maybe Doja gave the call. He was watching towards heaven, and they rotate in, holding the lower ramp. I'm not sure, but all I'm sure of is someone had to hold that position. And that could have been a round win for Gambit, but instead, the little key mistakes like that are the windows of opportunity for NRG to exploit. And now, with that round victory, it's going to be Gambit onto the eco. $3,000 though for Doja, which means we can be seeing the AWP into the next buy round for Mo, and that's going to be critical if Gambit want a chance of trying to bring this one back. Obviously, CT side train notorious for that AWP. But I imagine you can hear the sounds going off behind us, starting to amplify and get louder as this matchup starts to heat up.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Ethan provides the entry for them inside of B. They're going to go charging on through now. Mir, he scavenged that AK. The temptation's going to be there to try and find something from this. For the rest of the guys, the pistols, but for him, he's already looking hesitant. He's hanging around at the back. Maybe if they find an entry, then we see him look to commit to this, but no kit. And look over at the utility over on NRG. They still have the Molotov on Cirque once again. So Ethan holding close, has been tagged up on 1 HP. Hobbit's going to find him, and now this retake starting to look that much more tempting. The Molotov's been thrown out. Fugly clawing NRG back into this round, but he's only good for 1. Gambit time working against them. They have to get on that bomb now if they're going to go for this. They tap it. They're trying to hold this in the afterplant. Daps comes on in, and He's going to find the kills necessary. There's no time left regardless. Cirque might even finish off Hobbit, and indeed he does. So NRG 14-8 now here on Train. The map pick of Gambit. Those of you who are just joining us, this is the first map in this semi-final. The winner goes on to play the hometown heroes in the form of Tai Lu tomorrow.
Quality statistics there from David, as he's asked for the Twitch chat chant. But to something a little bit more serious now. This could be the final buy round we see from Gambit. If they lose this one, it's match point for NRG at 15. If they win it, they've still got 6 more rounds if they want to close out the match. So, Molotov in means that Mir will spot a player in towards Pop Dog. Right now for Gambit though, they still have presence towards B upper. You can see Dozier jiggle peeking towards B, which means that Gambit are okay playing quite passive towards here. Ooh. Little flash in towards Pop Dog here. Gambit getting control of the map and forcing NRG back. So what is the call here from NRG? 2 players outside A main, probably going to be lining up smokes towards the A side. They can smoke out towards Sandwich, smoke out towards Connector, and light up the skies of Train with utility. As the players, Fugly and co, now make their move towards Pop Dog. Seems like we're setting up here for an execution towards the A site, through Pop Dog, through T main, and if 40 seconds left, and a big lack of utility towards the A site, this could be the round for NRG.
Oh, Mir's spotted out Breezy. A lot of it going to come on the back of that one duel, and he falls short. Mo goes down as well. Breezy now leading the charge on in, and this round is so important for Gambit. They know it. They're going to have no money into the next. It will be a force. So at this point, the temptation to save is there. They lose Dozier, and it's only Hobbit. He's still staying around, still sticking in the smoke here. 1v5 and just wants to stay alive. This M4 is going to be all they have into the next round if he manages that. They will go hunting for it. They're going to find it. Map point in favor of NRG. 15-8 here on Train. And there's no money left for Gambit. We saw them versus Boot on this very map. It went through to overtime, actually went through to double overtime. It was a very, very close back and forth affair.
Do you get that embarrassed on camera?
I actually do.
Really?
I can relate, it's fine. But I don't think anyone noticed. So 8-15. And for Gambit, I mean, look at this buy. They've cobbled something together, Snods. They've gone for what they can. Couple of CZs here and there. Deagle up for a Dren, and already he's been dropped. He was the man, if you recall, in that game versus Boot Dreamscape. He was top of the board, churning out numbers, and he's been dropped early. Cirque with a quick flick onto Mo. And this is looking near on impossible now for Gambit.
Mir, though, up close and personal with the CZ. Does find one frag onto Breezy. Dozier as well, going to be chiming in before he is eventually dispatched off Fugly. As now into the 2 versus 3. NRG have caught wind of the setup from Gambit. Both players situated towards the A-bomb site, and with that, of course, NRG rotate towards B. Nice shot there, though, at range with the CZ from Mir. But obviously, telegraphing exactly where he is. Now the rotations from NRG back round towards the A site. A game of ringing around the roses.
And Mir, he's had a turbulent time since joining Gambit. Now finds himself in a 1v2. The last-ditch effort here to keep Gambit in this. I said the other day, you can't spell miracles without Mir. You need that now more than ever, and oh my goodness, he's found the first. Only has a couple of bullets left. He's run out of ammo. He's trying to hide away. And Dap's hunting him down. Dap's going to finish things off. NRG 16-8 here in map number 1. They're going to be picking up the W on Train.
Not only the map victory, but also the 16-8 win on the opposition's map pick. Gambit yesterday looking, or should I say 2 days ago, struggling to close out the matchup versus Boot. The loss as well, 16-12 on the first day of IEM Shanghai. And these poor performances from Gambit on Train continue as we head into overpass on the next map.
Yeah, it's still all to play for. Gambit, can they come back, or are NRG going to make this a very fast affair? We'll find out as we head on through to overpass next. We'll be back with the analyst desk after the break.